Hello, Mark Crossfield here. In my hands today I've got the Titleist 913 D3 hitting up against the Nike Covert Tour, getting lots of people asking me about this review, so we're going to give these two a hit. Got some real ball numbers for you coming at the end as well, so let's give the new Rory weapon a test up against the older brand from Titleist here, which Rory used to use, see which one comes out on top. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, Covert Tour hitting up against 913 D3 Titleist. So the Nike Covert Tour, you get slightly smaller head over the 913 D3, even though the D3 is the smaller head out of the 913 range. You get cavity back on Covert Tour, so you get this big hole out the back, which you don't obviously on Titleist and 913 D3. You get sure fit on Titleist, so changeable neck, allows you to change the loft and the lie independently, which is a great innovation. You get every loft given to you on Covert Tour, and you can make it go left and right as well. So adjustability on both of these clubs is large. Put them down by the ball, you got the black head against the red head. Both got the black face. Definitely slightly smaller head looking on the Covert Tour, but more striking in its look. So we're going to give them a hit, and like I said, we've got some real numbers from GC2 HMT unit here on the ground coming at the end of the video, which we'll show you. Let's just hit a couple with each to talk about what they feel like. So this is my Covert Tour driver. I like the smaller head. I love the red finish. It's all about the looks for this one for me. If it performs as good as the others, which at the moment I found it does, and we'll show you the numbers up against Titleist before we finish, why would I not go for the one I like the look of more? So let's give it a hit. So it's a lovely sound. It's a really true flight. Off Covert Tour, I don't get any high spinning numbers. I get really nice numbers, low spin and a decent launch. It does make quite a loud, fiery sound off the face, which when I play with people, they like, oh, that came off the face loud. You know, it feels like to them that because of the sound it's making, like it's coming off the face really fast. Let's give it one more go. I mean, this is the smaller head. I caught that one slightly out the toe, and it's forgiving, but the bigger head for someone who wants a bit more help on the Covert Tour or the Covert range might be a better option. So look, if we compare that up against the 913 Titleist, much more classic in its looks. If I can get this ball on the tee, much more classic in its looks, black all over, pear-shaped kind of design, slightly bigger head, even though, like I say, this is the smaller of the two. Let's give it a hit. Very similar in its sound, very similar in its feel, and very similar in its flight. If anything, it looks like it goes a little bit higher. And when you come to see the numbers at the end, you'll see what I've done to this one to make it perform the same way as the Covert Tour. Let's give it one more hit. Definitely more for the traditionalist, the Titleist, so I think the Covert Tour is obviously more loud in its statements, but performance-wise, they feel very, very similar. It's a nice hit. And again, it's a decent flight. So look, let's check out the real numbers with the real balls rather than the range balls using GC2 HMT and show you why I use the driver I do. Let's check them out. All right guys, so looking at the numbers, we've got Covert Tour here, first three shots, averaging 253 carry. Now, I use my Covert Tour in a 10.5 degree loft. Use a standard stiff shaft in 10. I've got it cranked at the 10.5, which if anyone watches any of the other videos, you'll see why that is. I used to have it lower, but I raised the loft and I found I hit it actually a little bit further. Now, when I went 913 D3 and I cranked the loft 0.75 up from 9.5, so it actually came out at 10.25 degrees. So I got it as close as I could to my Covert in loft. What happens is you can see the average distance dropped down 245. So the Covert, when they were set at the similar lofts, was going further. Now, if I look at the launch angle, 16 degree launch angle in the 913 to the 14 degree launch angle in the Covert. So it launched a slightly better height for me to get the better distance, and also had a little bit less spin, 2045 to 2148. Now, both of those are low spinning good drivers, by the way. So they're both performing very well. So what I did in the test is I thought, that's strange. I wasn't expecting the Covert to carry that much further than the 913. So I changed the loft. The 913 has a slightly bigger head than the Covert Tour. So maybe that was helping with its launch, even when they were set nearer the similar loft. So I cranked it back down to 9.5, and then what happens, Covert Tour actually ended up being 2 yards shorter on this test than the 913. Now it only worked out 2 yards shorter if you took my mishit out. So average 249, so the 253 with the Coverts. The Covert went further, but if you take that middle one out, the 238, which I didn't strike as well, what happens is it actually goes up to 255. So if you take the centered strikes, there's 2 yards in carry in the two clubs, so nothing in it. The Covert for me is performing as well as the Titleist 913 D3. Obviously 913 D3 is a little bit more of an industry standard, if you like, so for Nike to get as performing as well as that, in my opinion, is a good thing, which is why I would use it and do use it. And I like the look of the Nike a little bit more, which is why I use it. But what is interesting is I had to have them in different lofts subject to their head size and the way they perform, and this is a good moral for why it's so important that you get custom fit. You know, if I just try both of those clubs off the rack, no real data, set the same loft, the 913 will look like it goes higher, maybe not as far. Well, those clubs are performing slightly different through their head shape, possibly, and then you've got my striker work in there as well. So really, for those two drivers performing very, very similar, which is what I would expect, I had to have them cranked at different lofts for them to perform similar. But for me, Nike Covert Tour stays in the bag. I love the red and the swoosh. I love the black face. I like the look of the slightly smaller head, and I do love the sound it makes. Let me know what you think, guys. Post comments down below. You Titleist or Nike? We're seeing loads of Nike on tour, loads of good players using this driver. Equally with the Titleist as well. Which one do you prefer and why? Post comments, and thank you for watching. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments, love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.